Today, we're going to talk about how to create a habit tracker in 2022 inside of Notion. So what we're going to do here today is create an analytical habit tracker. What that does is connect an analytics table to a very simple habit tracker database. So what we're going to do is create progress bars that calculates the completion rates of your habits inside of that analytics table. So let's just get right into it. There's a template down below for the finished product and also one to follow along. This is the page that you'll be able to duplicate down in the description below. And inside of this page, we have one calendar. This calendar is called My Habits, and it has one single page in it in September 1st, 2022. So if you don't see it right away, try to navigate to this month first, and you should see it here. So if I click through, it gives me a few different properties. So this is a daily habits tracker, so we have some checkboxes, 5 of them actually. And we also have a property for the date, which is how we're able to see this page in a calendar. So with these checkboxes, we have some data to work with. And if we want to go beyond just the regular habit tracker and create an analytical one, we do need to create a table. So /table. And in database table view, let's select that and create an analytical table. So let's go to new database down here below and name this analytics. This analytics table is going to connect to the calendar down below. So I'm just going to make sure there's only one page in this database to start, and I'm going to click on this tags default property and delete it. So this one page is going to be called habit completion rate. In this page, we are going to collect all of the data from the calendar, and we are going to determine the overall completion rate for every one of these individual habits from meditate to work out. So to make that connection, we need to use a relation property. And I'm going to create a relation property inside of the analytics table. Just select this plus symbol here, and we're going to scroll down to relation. In this case, my calendar is called My Habits, so I'm going to select My Habits here. Now in the relation configuration window, we have what it is related to, the limit of pages relating between these databases. In this case, I want no limit. And also show on my habits. So do I want to toggle on a backlink or a relation that shows up in my calendar? And I do. And I'm just going to keep the name analytics. So I'm going to add that relation, and you'll notice that my habits has shown up. If I click through, there is one option to connect to, which is the one page in the calendar, daily habits. So if I just make that connection and then come down to daily habits in the calendar, I should see in analytics the backlink relation habit completion rate page. So this is exactly what I want. Now what I'm going to do with analytics here is click on the title, hide property, and always hide, just to clean up these pages a little bit. What I can also do to clean up pages in Notion is get rid of this comment section. So you may not need this comment section if you're not working with teams and you're just using this for personal use. So go up to the page menu, click, and go to Customize Page. What you can do here is go to Top Level Page Discussions and just make sure it's turned off. Awesome. So now what I want to do is make sure that every single page in my calendar is connected to that habit completion rate page. In order to do that, I'm going to create a filter inside of my calendar by clicking on Filter and searching for that relation property, Analytics. So I'm just going to make sure that Analytics contains habit completion rate. So this will be the case for every page in this calendar view. What I also want to do to make my life a little bit easier is add another filter where the name contains daily habits. Now I'm going to hide my filter configurations by clicking on the filter button again, and if I go to the 2nd of September and add a new item into the calendar, I should see that the habit completion rate is automatically connected to analytics and daily habits is the title of the page. To make my life a little bit easier from here, what I can do is show via the database menu here, properties, and show all of my checkboxes through the calendar view, so I don't have to click on individual pages. By selecting this show icon for all of my checkboxes, I'm able to quickly navigate via the calendar view and check off my checkboxes each day. Let's pre-fill this calendar with a few different days just to have some data to work with. So if you want to know how to quickly duplicate a single page, highlight that page and Command D for duplicate, and drag these pages into other dates in the calendar. I am just going to pre-fill a couple weeks. Okay, so now that I have some sample data here, I can go back to my habits, hide in view. Now that I have some data pre-filled in the calendar, what I'm going to do is go to one of these pages and I'm going to create a formula that calculates the percentage of habit completion for each day. So let's go to add a property, go down to advanced where that relation was, and right above it you'll see the option for formula. So for this formula, let's call it daily rate. And what I can do is just click here where it says empty. Very simply, what I want to do is convert these checkboxes into a number. So using the toNumber function, what I can do is convert each checkbox into either the number 0 for false or the number 1 for true. So within these parentheses, I'm just going to go down to the properties section in this pop-up window and select each habit. So read 50 pages. I'm going to say plus toNumber again and go down to the next one and click tweet 2 times and so on until we have every habit filled in. So now that we have everything calculated, what I want to do is nest this number. So we're just going to nest this inside of an open parentheses and a close parentheses. I'm going to say divided by the total amount of habits I have, which in this case is 5. So that'll give us a percentage. But what I want to do is narrow this down or round this number down. So I'm going to use the floor function to do that. So floor, open parentheses, and then 1,000 times. Close out that floor function at the end. It should give us something like 800, and then divide again by 1,000. So this is the final formula. From here, what I want to do is go to this 1, 2, 3 button and convert this number into a percentage. If I want to turn percentages in Notion into progress bars, I just have to select the name of either the number property or formula like we have here and go to edit property. This gives you in the show as section either to show this as a number, a bar, or a ring. I'm going to show it as a progress bar and change the color to red. And I do want to show that number, but there is an option to hide the progress percentage. So now that I have that done, I'm going to just drag this up here at the top. Great. So let's take a look at how we can visualize this new progress bar. So I can go to my database menu here and go to properties again and show the daily rate formula. And I'm just going to drag that to the top. So now not only can I check off and on my daily habits within the calendar, but I can see my completion rate rise and fall as well. So now that we have all of that figured out in our calendar, let's go back to this analytics table. So let's analyze these habits a little further. What I want to do is analyze my completion rate for each individual habit overall. What we're going to do is create a roll-up in our analytics table. So click this plus symbol, go down to advanced, and go to roll-up. What a rollup needs is just a single relation property. In this case, we have created that already. So if I go to relation to select, I can select the My Habits relation. That'll give us all of our daily habits. Now from here, what I can do is select a property from that calendar to calculate. Let's first calculate the meditate habit. So this will give us all of the checkboxes from meditate. What I want to do is calculate these checkboxes percent checked. And now because we have a percentage number, there is an option in the Show As section here to turn this again into something like a progress bar or a progress ring. I'm going to keep it as a progress ring and maybe give each habit its own unique color. In this case, for meditation, let's give it the color pink. And I'm going to change the name Rollup to meditate. Now what we're going to do is just do the same thing for every single habit. So what I can do is just click on meditate and go back to edit property, scroll down to the bottom here, and there's an option to duplicate property. This will make it a little bit easier. And let's go to the next habit, which is publish article 2 times. And go down to property and change meditate to publish article and just calculate percent checked. Go back to ring and maybe keep it as the color green. Again, I can go down to duplicate property and go to the next one, which is read 50 pages. Make sure the property is read 50 pages, calculate percent checked, ring, and give this one maybe the color red. The next one will be tweet 2 times. Calculate percent check, ring, and maybe color this orange. And the last one, which is workout. So I created a video all about the new progress bar. And I did say that rollups do not include the progress bar, but they actually do now. I'm going to select ring one last time and maybe blue. Okay, so now that we have all our rollups, the next thing I want to show you is one last formula. So I want to show you how you can calculate with rollups. We can go to this plus button, create another formula under advanced. And what I want to do here is just collect the total success rate for habits. So this is overall how successful we are at completing our daily habits every day. So I can edit the formula within this menu here, and we can select each rollup from the property menu. Let's start with meditate. That'll give us a number, and we're just going to add them all up. Read 50 pages, tweet, and work out. So now that we have this number, just like we did before, let's isolate this inside of open and close parentheses, and then divide by the total number, which is 5. I also want to round this number down by floor 1000. So floor, open parentheses, 1000 times, and at the end, let's close it out, divided by 1000. So that'll give us a cleaner number. That's going to be the final formula. And now we have the option to change it into a bar or a ring, but first I want to change the number format to a percentage. I'm going to change this into a bar and maybe change the color to a light gray. And that's about it. So we can take this a step further. Not just analyzing overall success rate, we can analyze something like how successful we are on a Monday or every Thursday or Friday. So we have our habit completion rate page, which is gathering all of the information at once. And I'm just going to rename this table by rename to total. And from here, I actually want to duplicate this total view and rename it to weekdays. So that's what we're going to see inside of this database view. Except I do not want to see the page habit completion rate in this view, so I'm going to create a filter. that says the name is not habit completion rate. And in total, I'm going to create a similar filter for name that is habit completion rate. So in weekdays, what I want to do is create 7 pages, one for Monday habits through to Sunday habits. Now with each one of these pages, I want to do the same thing as I did before. I want to connect them to their corresponding days in my calendar. So let's go to September 1st, a Thursday. Go down to the analytics relation, and what I can do is go to this plus button, link another page, and now I have all my weekday pages available to connect. So all I needed was that one relation. So let's connect Thursday here. And that will be a manual connection, unlike our habit completion rate connection, which is automatic. So that would be the only drawback here. And I'm just going to go ahead and connect all of these. So now I've gone ahead and connected every weekday to its corresponding page in this pre-filled calendar. I can come back here, go up back to the analytics table, and you'll see that these roll-ups have updated. And they've updated to translate to whatever day these pages are connected to. So if you want to add more pages to your analytics table to analyze your calendar in different ways, you can add pages like quarter 1 through 4 or different months of the year. So now that we know how to analyze a regular traditional habit tracker in Notion with manual checkboxes that you'll have to check off every day, let's take a look at how we can automate these checkboxes. So let's say, for instance, that publishing 2 articles a day. I don't want to go in and manually check this because maybe there is a database somewhere else in my workspace where I collect all of my articles. Let's first come up here and below analytics table, let's create an example of what that article database could be. So let's / table again, go down to database and table view, create a new database, and let's call this article database. So this part of the tutorial here is not included inside of the final template, but if you want something a little bit more advanced, you can follow along from here. So let's say we have 2 examples of articles in our database. We have article A and article B. Now both of these articles are completed. Let's change this default tags property to type and date. And let's just rename this to due. And let's say both of these are due on Saturday, the 3rd of September. Now I want to connect to my calendar. So to do this, I'm going to create another property that is a relation again. And I can find my habits. And I want this relation to be called published. And I want to show in my habits articles. So let's add that relation. What I can do down here in the calendar is change the naming convention. Instead of every page being titled Daily Habits, maybe instead we give it the name of the date. So maybe I can say 09/04/2022 Daily Habits. Or I can get rid of this filter altogether, delete the Daily Habits filter, and just give it the name of the date. So let's just give that September 4th as an example of that naming convention. And up here in Published, in Article Database, I can go ahead and either create a new page in my Daily Habits from here, or look for 09/04/2022. And let's say both are published on this day. With this information, I can go back down to September 4th page for daily habits and see that 2 articles indeed have been published on this day. What I can do is change publish article 2 times, go to edit property, and change this into a formula. We're going to convert this into a formulaic checkbox. And then what I'm going to do is create a rollup that counts the number of articles in each day. So add a property, rollup, number of articles, select the relation, because remember all you need is a relation, select articles, property, and count all for calculate. And just leave it as a number. So there should be 2 here. What I'm going to do is hide this property always, and I'm going to do the same thing with articles. I'm always going to hide that property. Inside of that formula, I can simply say number of articles property, that rollup, which should be a number, equals 2. What you'll also notice if I click away is that inside of the calendar view, our published to articles now just has an empty checkbox but no name. So I don't really need to see this checkbox here. So what I'm going to do is go to the database menu and hide it. Publish article 2 times will be hidden. Now what I want to do is go up to our analytics table, and you'll see that that rollup is now empty. What we'll have to do is configure the rollup to make sure that property is publish article 2 times, calculate percent checked. If I go click on the title and edit property, I can change this back to a ring. And this article database could be another page in your workspace. So if I click on the block, I can turn this into a page and file this away somewhere else, and that connection can still be made to the calendar despite where it is in your workspace. Like I said in the video, I've made a progress bar update video, and I'm going to link it down in the description below. In that video, I share that rollups don't yet have a progress bar, and of course, they do now, which is really cool. I will see you guys the rest of the week on Twitter, and next time with a new video. I'll see you then.